Tachyon particles. Okay, now we're getting into stuff I learned at school. Cool. The general term for particles that move faster than the speed of light. Of course, it's said that faster than light travel is impossible. Consider the relation between how an object moves and said object's energy. Energy is needed in order for an object to move, but the greater its velocity, the more energy is required. Say it takes an object 10 units of energy to move at a velocity of 10. It doesn't then follow that it would take 20. Doesn't it then follow that it would take 20 units for energy to move at the velocity of 20? The energy required is actually equal to the velocity squared. In this case, the object's velocity would be approximately 14. Let's say, for example, that an object's velocity increases tenfold when you apply 100 units of energy, and that it increases tenfold when you apply 10,000 units of energy. The speed of the object would continue to increase in the same fashion as more and more energy was applied, until finally its velocity exceeded the speed of light. Why then does everything claim that faster than light travel is impossible? That's because the energy required is also dependent on the object's mass. The amount of force required to move a heavy object is greater than it is for a lighter one, as I'm sure everyone knows from experience. And it should go without saying that it takes double the amount of force to force an object that's double the weight. That doesn't change the fact that the object's velocity will increase so long as the energy continues to be applied to it. But according to the theory of relativity, the mass of an object changes depending on its velocity. The closer an object is to light speed, the more its mass increases, and the moment it reaches light speed, its mass becomes infinitely larger. To move an object with infinite mass, it would need an infinite amount of energy as well. And it's for this reason that people conclude that faster than light travel is impossible. But herein lies the trick. That objects increase in mass as they move in conclusion, drawn from external observation. How would you go about measuring the mass of a moving object though? There's no way to move a moving object on a set of scales. Through observation, you estimate the mass of a given object based on its acceleration, acceleration caused in turn, by the fact that X amount of energy being applied to it. Lost? Of course you are. That's because this is clearly circular reasoning. I'm lost already, man. You've already gone past what I've learned. When discussing whether or not the application of enough energy might cause an object to reach light speed, deriving said object's mass from change in velocity is pointless. All you've confirmed is the hypothesis that acceleration is made harder the closer that an object is to light speed. I feel like this is like an external force talking to us, the people, so we understand stuff in the game, but it's also to give us a centralized idea to come to a conclusion, I feel like. So I think next time with this, I won't read it. I'll have like Google Translate. No, I'll have myself read it because it's going to take too long to do. I'm not going to spend that long editing. That the theory of relativity explains the phenomenon that as an increase of mass is merely a means of confirming it to our own present understanding of physics. The prospect that is reaching light speed is impossible due to the problem of infinite mass is by no means a matter of certitude. But as long as the object's acceleration is made harder by the velocity at which it's traveling, it's inevitable that the energy driving it is going to disappear. So where does the energy disappear to? The answer is simple. It disappears into the fourth dimension. At this point, you might be mad at me for pulling your leg, but that's not what I'm doing, I assure you. I'm dead serious. The first dimension is linear, the second is a flat plane, the third is space. With the addition of a fourth axis, that time, you then get four-dimensional space-time. Even if everything appears stationary in third-dimensional space, it continues to move into the fourth dimension. The passage of time, in layman's terms. Now then, there's a phenomenon in in which the passage of time itself slows the closer an object is to light speed. You don't need me to explain any further, right? It's called the Urashima effect. Ah! I see. Looking again at the same phenomenon though, a four-dimensional lens, you might also describe it as the slowing of movement along the time axis. Just as energy is necessary to make an object accelerate, energy is also needed to make an object decelerate. That's right, energy which appears to disappear is in fact expended in the fourth dimension to slow the object's movement. Now, having solved that mystery, let's consider what happens if we continue applying energy to the object. Unfortunately, it won't reach light speed no matter how much energy we apply to it. We would need an infinite amount of energy to reduce its speed along the time axis to zero. And there's a limit to how much energy originally devoted to acceleration through three-dimensional space can be converted into energy for controlling movement along the time axis. There's no limit, though, to how much energy you can directly apply to an object's movement through time though. Should have worded that better. This is where tachyons finally come in. Normal objects move positively along the time axis, even light, which has a value of 0, doesn't necessarily cross over into negative values. Tachyon particles, however, have a greater momentum than the speed of light, and are thought to proceed negatively along the time axis. It then becomes possible using the energy obtained from tachyons to reverse an object's movement along the time axis, enabling faster than light travel. Oops, we're back to circular reasoning. When discussing the possibility of faster than light travel, dragging faster than light particles, tachyons, into the equation introduces a logical contradiction. Then again, the question of whether or not tachyons exist holds no water in this discussion either. Without any evidence of where tachyons come from, you end up falling into a trap of circular reasoning, one way or another. Or, the better term in this case would be infinite regress? Or perhaps what's circular? What's stuck in infinite regress is the universe itself. From higher dimensions, you might see the axis of time distort and interconnect, lacking beginning or end. Even tachyons would appear to us to be moving negatively along the time axis, might be moving forward in a time from their perspective. In that case, all we can do, residing in the third dimension, is go with the flow of time, or resist it and wait things out. But those are two choices really though. Are those two choices really enough? After all, there are only two paths out of the present. The future and the past. As for which we'll pick, the choice is in our hands. Oh, what's up, Rine? Dinne. When I look to see what's causing the ruckus, I find Dinne dashing back and forth across the kitchen.
ごめんね、ちょっと寝坊しちゃって。急いでおじいちゃんのお弁当作らないと。あ、パン切れてたんだっけ？何かすぐ作れそうなものは。
Oh, I'll give you a hat.
どこの馬の骨とも知れんやつが作ったものを食べられるか。
Whoa, that came out of nowhere.
リンネ、今日はもういい。一食くらい抜いてもどうということはない。
ダメだよ。おじいちゃんももう年なんだから、ちゃんと栄養取らないと。
By the way, Nurvan, you wolfed down the whole curry I made yesterday, didn't you?
捨てるわけにはいかんからな。だがあんな甘ったるいもの、わしはカレーとは認め。
あ、まだ切なカレー残ってる。これでいっか。はい、お弁当。
Nurvan reluctantly accepts the curry-filled lunchbox that's thrust upon him.
まったく、 この男が来てからというもの毎日忙しくてかなわんわ。
I'm really sorry.
せつなは謝らなくていいよ。悪いのは寝坊しちゃった私だよ。
白々しいことを毎晩二人でこそこそと出かけとるくせに。
ほら早く行かないと遅刻しちゃうよ。いってらっしゃい。今日も頑張ってね。
まったく。
Nervan looks defeated. Looking defeated, heads for the door.
いいかお前、孫を危険な目に遭わせてみろ。
That he leaves. What's scary is that it didn't sound like he was joking.
大丈夫だよ。いくらおじいちゃんでもそんなことしないよ。多分ね。
I know. I'll be fine as long as I don't put her in danger. Anyways, our nightly outings were totally obvious, it seems.
おかしいの。いつも酔いつぶれてるのに。
Well, parents are more vigilant with their children than you'd expect. But he hasn't found out that we slept in the same bed yet, right? Hey, Dine, can you tell Nervan? You can tell Nervan, can't you? About what we're trying to do.
でも
Look, you need a massive battery, right? Nervan works at a power plant. If you can get him to help, he can fix your problem easy. And it's not just him. Everyone here would lend a hand if you gave them proper explanation. But Dine just looks at me concerningly.
どうせ信じてくれないよ。
That's an unusual pessimistic thing for Dine to say. I believe you.
それはせつなが変なんだよ。
Weird? Me?
変だよ。すっごく。
Well, it's true. I might not have believed if she didn't.
ね。だから完成するまでは私とせつなだけの秘密ね。
Got it. Our little secret. A single lifeline. A means of saving the world. If we're not careful, whoever we tell might get in our way or use that information for nefarious purposes. It looks like I'm the only one worrying about that kind of stuff.
みんなをびっくりさせたいしね。
That's the face of someone who only sees the best in others.
ごめんね。お弁当持たせてあげられなくて。
Don't sweat it. And by the way, you're not running out of food because of me, are you?
大丈夫。西地区の配給は明日だから。
Oh, my long-awaited ration day has finally come. What am I so over the moon about? Well, I'll finally be able to shed this life of poverty for one.
明日は久しぶりにお菓子が食べられるかもね。
Oh, you can get candy too?
たまに飴とかチョコとかもらえるんだよ。ああ、早く明日にならないかな。
You're definitely a useless kid if you're getting excited about candy.
私甘いもの大好き。
Oh, I thought she'd deny it.
私子供じゃないもん。
Then you don't need candy. Why don't I swap it for some bread?
それとこれとは別。女の人は大人になっても甘いもの大好きなんだもん。
Well, let's just leave it at that for now.
本当だもん。
Oh, I remember it all too well. A young lady that just has who'd get just as enthused about shaved ice. But the fact I can't remember her smile means we never got to eat it in the end back then. I hope you get your candy. I gave her a beheaded head a good old rub, and as always, Dine beams contently. If only we'd been able to have that shaved ice without a hitch. If only we'd be able to live out a peaceful life after that. I might have even had a kid like you.
よくわからないけど、すっごく失礼なこと考えてる？
Sorry. I'm not sure a kid of mine would be all kinds of twisted.
じゃなくて、子供扱いしてるとこ。
Don't get so mad. It was just a joke.
冗談だったら何でも許されると思ったら大間違いだよ。
I messed up. Oh, I almost forgot. You can buy condiments around here, right?
雑貨屋さんにたまに入荷してるよ。
Then I'll make something tasty for you tonight, as an apology.
本当？
Yeah, you betcha. The problem is getting the ingredients. All my money is with Cut-in ever since she snatched it out of my hands, so current balance is, well, 0. Of course, I'll get paid if I do a day's work, like usual, but...
じゃあ約束？
Dina sticks her little finger out to me. Promise?
さあ、せつな忘れっぽいから、こうやってちゃんと約束しとかなきゃ。
I extended my little finger, just as instructed. That's when a sudden thought flashes through my mind. We'd still be together, even after death. I wonder if that promise from back then still stands even now. Or has it expired? I left on a journey to fulfill my promise to her. I suddenly feel like I've come a long, long way.
指切り弦な嘘ついたら針千本のます。
God, that's an old rhyme. I've never heard that in my life. But I'm sure there's actually a second part to that rhyme. The oath maker's end does the pinky swear and rend. You're punished for breaking the promise, but if you die, you're free. So that promise together, even death might be invalid to begin with. Although...
早く帰ってきてね、せつな。
Yeah, I'm still living my life, aren't I? I'm sure the promise is still in effect. Right, I'll make sure to wrap things up quickly today, and head straight back. Sent off with a smile, from Dinne, I began to climb the stairs. I recall my feet feeling leaden as I went to work the other day. It's not just work that awaits me today, though. The secret to this world to which the church holds the key, and Sarah who clung weeping to me the other day. But I made a promise. That promise isn't a weight on my shoulders. It's a force which propels me forward. So all I have to do is keep on moving. With that resolve, I stepped boldly into the church. But Sarah's nowhere to be found. When I asked one woman passing by, it seems she shut herself in her room with no intention of coming out. Can't blame her, I guess. It's not like I can go wandering into women's quarters, and I'm not so carefree as to just be idle about here. I decided to ask the guard if I can help out with some security work for the church instead. Security doesn't mean apprehending terrorists or fighting insurgents, however. Their work simply involves making regular patrols of the church perimeter, and even that's not much of a job. But to be quite honest, the disdainful glares that you sometimes get from regular citizens are quite painful. One of the guards told me it usually carries a weapon as a form of deterrence, but I'm not allowed to since I'm not officially a guard. Having to lug something like that around would just slow me down anyways. It's better that I'm unarmed. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to glean any more information about the exploration team other than what Cut-in told me yesterday, but I learned quite a bit about the church's conflict with Avalon in the past. The guard I spoke to, he had been working for the church since those days. The story he told me made me want to plug my ears. I wasn't really able to picture it when he told me that how the alleys were piled high with bodies. Finding a dead body was still somewhat of a good thing, since so many people just went missing, never to be found. It may sound nice being able to cling to hope that they'll still be out there alive somewhere, but that couldn't be further from the truth. Hope can be surprisingly fragile. 3 days without food and you'll lose the strength to stand. You're no longer able to open your eyes after a week. Slowly but surely, hope vanishes before you know it, it's gone. But that doesn't mean that there's no getting back on your feet. Hope returns, grows back. But for that, you need time, and a mind-boggling amount of it at that. I'm sure the people of that island are waiting for the time to come. I'm sure Sarah is no exception. I'm so bored, and so hungry. I have too much time on my hands now. Now that I've finished making my rounds and I'm right back at the church. Despite my efforts to gather intel on Sarah and the church, everyone's busy and the guards have disappeared due to some urgent business. Huh? I spy a little girl walking past, her hands full of bags. Right, I'll go float a bit while pretending to help. I mean, resume my inquiries. You seem to be having trouble. Where are you taking all these? Wait, she's...
せつなさん
It's the ringleader herself.
すみません、せつなさん。この度は多大なご迷惑を。
It's okay. If you're talking about yesterday, that didn't bother me.
すみません、すみません。
Her head bobs up and down at high speed. People seem to be crowding around us. Okay. Well, if we're going to have this conversation, I think we should move it someplace else.
今朝はすっかり寝坊してしまいまして。
Come again? You overslept?
お恥ずかしい限りです。
So the reason you didn't come out of your room this morning's because...
爆睡しちゃってました。
Then what about yesterday in the lift?
それは
Sarah's eyes start darting around. Then she gazes off to one side.
特に反省はしていませんが。
What's the hell?
責められる言われもないかと。
The hell do you do? The hell? Yes, you do! You were the only one who made the moves on me.
勝手に身の上話を始めてそういう雰囲気を作ったのはせつなさんじゃないですか。
I guess it might have been my fault. You know, for saying stuff that could have been misunderstood.
誤解なんてしていませんし、せつなさんにも落ち度はありませんよ。
I don't get her weirdly stubborn attitude.
晴天の教義にも反していませんし。
God, just throw the sketchy book in the trash already. I think that's it for my blood sugar.
もしかしてお腹空かれてるんですか？
Sort of.
それは良かったです。私もちょうどこれからお昼ですので、ご一緒しませんか？
Sarah opens one of the bags to show me what's inside. It's packed full with sandwiches.
それではどうぞお好きなだけ。
Wait, are all these packed with sandwiches?
少し作りすぎてしまったので、担当お召し上がりください。
A few? Oh well. I might as well be thankful for them since she's offering. There's 50% more corn in this sandwich than usual. Did you make these for them?
はい。どうやら私の現状認識が甘かったようですので、今日は作れるだけ作ってみました。
I see. So that's her response.
もちろん、そういう問題じゃないのは分かっています。ですが、できることをしないというわけにもいきませんから。
Even if she's attacked for being a hypocrite, huh?
今日も手伝っていただけますか？あの子たちに配るのは。
Yeah, of course. That makes you wonder just how long it took her to make all these sandwich. Oh, that's why she overslept. Geez, just how devoted is she? Though, there is one thing I want to get straightened out first.
はい、何でしょう。
It's pretty nerve-wracking being put on the spot. But there's no sense in chickening out and changing the subject. Yeah, my friends. It might be excusable during peacetime, but right now we're in a position to act like a couple. Wait, that's chickening out too. Regardless of the world we live in, there's one thing I'm unwilling to concede. I made a promise. I can't be romantically involved with you. I made a wish. Sure, a wish that I could change. That still holds true. But that doesn't mean I want to forget the past. So I'm sorry, I can't support you.
心外ですね。私がせつなさんにすがっているとでも？
Did I get the wrong idea?
支えが必要なのはせつなさんじゃないですか。
I told you,
その約束の相手をなくされたんですよね。
Hey.
死者は人を支えてはくれません。屍は荷物にしかなりません。荷物を捨てろとは言いません。過去を忘れろとは言いません。わかっています。捨てようとして捨てられるものではないことは、忘れようとして忘れられるものではないことは。ですが、だからこそ、前に進むためには、誰かの支えが必要なんです。
Then who is she suggesting I'm relying on? Who is it that enables me to keep moving forward? Of course. That goes without saying. Thanks for your consideration. No, I'm alright.
とてもそうは思えません。
You'll be meddling if you go any further.
そうは思いません。
Look, I'm clutching my head in exasperation. Why is she so passionate? It's simple, right? I have someone I love. That's all there is to it.
私だって好きな人はいます。それがせつなさんです。
You're wrong. Our paths just happened to cross.
いいえ、違いません。
She looked straight at me. Her gaze was unwavering.
せつなさんは私の恋人です。
What's she saying?
私たちはかつて将来を約束し合いました。
What's she talking about?
ここに住む人たちを救おうと誓い合いました。
When did we do that?
毎晩大きな大きな夢を語り合いました。
Who was that with?
ですがせつなさんは約束も果たさず死んでしまいました。
Died?
せつなさん。
Sarah calls my name without the slightest bit of hesitation.
あなたは何者ですか？
Who am I? What keeps me going? What am I living for? But more than that, Sarah, who are you? That isn't me. That's not me in her memories. So, who?
私はあなたを殺した人間です。
Who is she?
もう一度問います。せつなさん、あなたは何者ですか？
I swore never to repeat the same mistake I made that day. So think about it. Sarah's true feelings behind her words. What she's seeking from me and what she's seeking from Setsuna. Think about it and answer her. Don't chicken out. To give the answer I wasn't able to that day. That's right. I'm not your Setsuna. I haven't formed an identity of my own yet, but I'm not going to be afraid of that anymore. I took advantage of Dinne's kindness and borrowed her brother's name so I can live in this world. I touched the collar on my neck, but this belonged to someone dear to you. Setsuna Ohara. Dinne's big brother and Sarah's romantic partner. The one Sarah killed with her own hands. It must have been tough, being with me. You must have loathed me for assuming his name. I reached out around the back of my neck and undid the lock. It feels somewhat strange to have it unbound in so long. I'm returning this. I can't bear the fact that my possession of it brings back painful memories for you. Thus, doing so means that I'll no longer be able to receive rations or get a job. But that's perfect. It means I don't have to show my face to her anymore. After today, the fake Setsuna will vanish before Sarah. Once and for all. Sarah? Sarah doesn't reach out to take the collar. Instead, she kneels down, practically putting her forehead to her knees.
すみませんでした。あなたのおっしゃる通りです。私はあなたにあの人の姿を重ね合わせて脅迫じみたことまでして あなたに、あの人を演じさせようと。
Whoa there, I wasn't trying to blame you.
そんなことをしても、犯した罪は消えないのに、この真っ黒に汚れた手は綺麗にはならないのに。
I don't know what situation she was faced with, but if your hands are tainted, then what does that make mine? Does that make me a man who lied, cheated, defiled his body and soul, then took her life in the end? Want to die together? It's just a straight drop down from hell here. It would be extremely simple. But there's no point in doing that if it's that easy. You wouldn't want to forgive yourself if you did that, right? People are reborn. If that's true, then the crimes you've committed will gnaw at your flesh again and again, from one life to the next, till the time comes when you're able to forgive yourself. Until the time comes when you're able to love yourself. All you can do is fulfill your promise. The promise you weren't able to that day.
約束。
The one you made with Setsuna, to save everyone on the island.
はい。
It was your dream, right? Yours and Setsuna's.
はい。
Then make it happen, until your last breath. I plan to do the same. I place my collar on her lap, then turn away. With this, I turn over a new leaf. But I'm already used to that. No matter how treacherous my path, I'll keep on walking. As long as the path lies ahead, even if it's just a tightrope.
せめて最後に教えてください。あなたの、本当のお名前を。
So it finally comes. I scratched my head, turning around. I find Sarah standing there, the rims of her eyes still glistening with tears. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. I don't remember. I've always gone by Setsuna my entire life.
ずっと。
Sarah blinks a few times, as if to fan the tears away.
なら、
She presents the collar to me with both hands.
もう少しだけ、せつなさんでいてくださいませんか？
Okay, Renee. Never Island. I think we're gonna stop here, because it's like... No, I can go for like until 3. Yeah, I can go until 3, so I can go for another 40 minutes. Sarah and I are left shaking about in the lift, plunging ever downwards. So this means... I've been revived?
なんて言い方をするんですか？再雇用ですよ、再雇用。
I see. Then let's go with that instead.
そういうことなんです。
Fine with me. I have some questions of my own anyways. I'm referring to the real Setsuna. With that said, it's difficult topic to approach given the romantic nature of their relationship. Hey, Sarah, you know the girl I love...
なぜまたこの場所でその話なんですか？
She misunderstood me again. Even if I was just using it as a lead-in. You know, it was right about yesterday when we...
忘れてください！忘れてください！
She's got some nerve seeing as she came on to me. Don't worry yourself. It's not like it was my first time.
私も初めてじゃありませんから。
We're getting nowhere. Wait, shouldn't I stay on the attack? You weren't my second either, you know.
私は二人目ですが。これでも一人目と色々経験済みですから。
Why is she being so insistent? Does that mean those boobs of yours have had their fair share of attention?
はい？
That dog Setsuna. I haven't even laid a hand on those colossal cans myself yet.
当時は16歳でしたから、まだそんなに大きくは。
Oh, that's fine then.
もう5年、なんですよね。
You're not a teenager then.
まるであの日から、ずっと時間が止まってしまっていたような気がします。
to me, 5 years is too long for me to imagine. But I kind of understand how she feels. Time passes a little too quickly in this world. There are moments in life when you want to stand still, and moments when you want to curl up for a while. When that happens, you should just let it go for a short time. Someday, we'll rise up once more and begin to walk again. We'll be able to once we've met someone who pat us on the shoulder and give us our backs a little push.
よかった。せつなさんに出会えて。
Oh, but I can't be take your Setsuna's place, even if I did take his collar.
はい、わかっていますよ。
Sarah flashes a grin.
むしろせつなさんにはそのことを実感させていただきましたから。
So that means I'm just the bait?
だからなんて言い方をするんですか。感謝してるんですよ。目を覚まさせてくださったことに。
Grateful, huh? That unpleasant itch on my back is probably telling me I'm not such a normal guy, that I'm not worth thanking. I'm just a nobody after all. I can't accomplish anything on my own. Right, so why don't you let me fondle those knuckles as thanks?
それは競技に反しますから。
So you'd be alright if it's not?
ダメに決まってます。
So the scriptures don't come into play at all. Sarah? Sarah suddenly conceals her face and then
少しだけ。
she clings tightly to my arm, leaning heavily on me. Wait. Her chest is directly touching my arm. Hey Sarah, I was joking earlier. You know, I wasn't particularly...
違います。少し気持ちが悪く。
hey Sarah, are you okay?
もう喉まで。
Hang in there, not much longer now. With Sarah continuing to retch, I massage her back in long strokes. That reminds me, she had her head down and kept silent at first. Jeez. This one's nothing but trouble.
すみません。ありが。